Hey guys, Hazards280 here. Just got an update video on our 18 4Runner TRD off-road. I originally did a review and kind of owner's impression of our 4Runner here a few months back. In the description below you'll see a link with taking you to that video. But I've had a lot of questions on the 4Runner, really how that BP51 install went, and really what's happened with the 4Runner since I did that, and how have the driving dynamics changed, and just really a general update on the truck. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'll do a walk around with everything that's happened to it, and then I will provide feedback on that BP51 system through ARB. Just kind of jumping right to the point, I really like it. So let's dive in and I'll tell you what's changed since the video was originally taken. So these tires were on the truck at the time. This is a 275/70R17 BF Goodrich KO2. I did not have the lift installed at that time. The windows were tinted. Looking at the rear, nothing's really changed. We do have our ORV tags there here in Michigan. On the side, you can see I do have a little sticker here, just the BP51 Old Man Emu, just signifying what's on it. So you can see on the basically the larger portion of the car going around, a majority of it has stayed the same. In the front, you will see I have LED daytime running lamps on the right hand side, or on what used to be an amber light. So this is just through diode dynamics, so you can see it's white right now, and if I turn on my turn signal, it is what's called a switchback. So there are obviously LEDs on there that are amber, and then other ones that are white. So during the day you do get a nice, amber light on your outer edges, as you can see here. And as soon as I turn off that turn signal, it just is going to switch back, i.e. switchbacks, to that style. Alright, and continuing on, I did replace the stock skid plate with the TRD Pro skid plate. That was done for a number of reasons. First off, obviously when you're going off-road you want a stronger skid plate that's made out of pretty thick aluminum. I think it's inch or quarter inch, half inch. I want to say quarter inch aluminum. So pretty good, stout piece of metal. The stock one was pretty thin, and it really sucked to do an oil change on this thing because there was a plastic guard that had to come off, then that metal guard, and there were just too many bolts. It just sucked. So you also get with the TRD Pro an easier oil change as well. Since you just take out 4 solid bolts, it drops down. It's kind of heavy, but just take your time and everything goes through pretty easily. So that's changed in the front, and I think on the exterior that's about it. Now I'll show you what the BP51s look like here. I did go with the Icon upper control arms with the delta joints. Obviously, I live in Michigan, so we do have salt on our roads in the winter, and if I went with a standard uniball, I would have gotten salt and everything in that ball joint, and then over time it's going to start to squeak and rattle, and I couldn't really handle that. So this has kind of got your perks of a standard ball joint, but also the perks of a uniball, which if you watch another video on my description, I went through a review of these and how these worked. But outside of that, you also get better caster levels when you do your alignment by using these upper control arms. And although I don't like Icon for their customer support, I will say they did build a nice upper control arm here. The only thing I wish I would have done is bought the caps for this. Right here you can see I do got some surface rust from my first winter here in Michigan. They do offer a kit, so I will be buying that this winter to protect this, and I'll probably putting a little bead of silicone around this just to put a barrier between it and the elements. Alright, coming back at it, I had to move the car. I had someone else coming down the seasonal road here. Okay, and you can also see the coilover here. This is the BP51 coilover. You can see it has very minimal wear on it throughout our first winter. I did have some neoprene boots around these to protect them from the elements as well. Obviously I didn't have one on this, but these were protected. There was a little bit of corrosion on this piece here. This I think would just wipe off, it's just some dust. And then the reservoir is actually behind that rubber shield there, so that was protected naturally as well. I did use a thin coat of fluid film to protect these, yet I still did get a little bit on this. Now I wasn't, too crazy about coating it every time, I parked it in the garage or something, but it's just something to note. And you can see it is a beautiful coilover. You have your compression and rebound adjustments there. Compression on the bottom, rebound on top. There's a tool that comes with them to, make those adjustments. Coming to the rear, likewise, that is your shock. It's got the same adjustments on it. You can see the reservoir coming down right there at the bottom. And it does have some rooster guards there to protect it as well. So overall, I was quite impressed with how well they held up over the winter. I did do my due diligence and try to protect them, and I think they did fine. They do have an anodized, from my understanding, I guess I'm not know if I'm doing it right here, but they have a coating on them that's supposed to really withstand the elements more so than like a Fox shock or a Icon. And that was a big deciding factor with myself when I was looking at this lift kit, because I really don't like it when things rust. And ARB actually has a great history and customer support, and Icon didn't. So if I'm spending, $2,800 on a lift kit, I want to make sure that they're going to stand behind the product. In Michigan, it's obviously cold in the winter, so I had some issues with the front coilover actually making a clunking sound, and ARB said it was the design flaw and some of the early ones. Obviously ARB is based in Australia, it doesn't really get as cold there, and their cold weather testing found that with the way the bypass valves work, there are some cases when it's extremely cold, and in my case it was -10, that it will make a popping sound as the fluid is being bypassed through the valves. Now, it doesn't impact functionality or anything along those lines. It's just an annoyance and a sound I didn't like. So they actually shipped out brand new ones, and I shipped my old ones back, and the problem was remedied. So all it was I had a case of early BP51s, and that was about it. One thing to note, when you are buying the BP51 kit, make sure you do get the fitment kit for the 2010 and up 4Runner. Some cases they sell the FJ Cruiser one, and there is a bracket that is right underneath the skid plate here that is basically avoiding your sway bar, if I recall correctly, and because it would make contact without it. I bought from Toy Tech, they gave me some spacers for it, and yet it was still hitting, and I called ARB and they said that don't use the spacers, it's not a good fix, and they sent me out the proper drop bracket that ARB includes with their kits that you're paying the money for already, so you should be getting that drop bracket. And note, you do get stickers and a water bottle and stuff like that, and they just are an excellent company. They know their system. When you call and ask about it, they're familiar and they really stand behind it. So they're not telling me to, paying me to tell you that or anything. It's just a case of good customer support and a good quality product. Now, the BP51s, the one issue the 4Runner had, and if anybody that goes out and test drives one, you're going to see that without KDSS, you do get a good bit of nosedive when you hit the brakes. It's very spongy. I wouldn't say so when you accelerate, but when you hit the brakes, you do get nosedive, and that drove me nuts. In the body roll, you got some, but it wasn't as much as the nosedive that you got. And I found that even when I changed the tires, since these are an E-load tire, you get, obviously you got more layers in your sidewall there, so there's less roll in that sidewall. And obviously it has a pretty tall sidewall being a 70 series. So that helped, just changing the tires, in all honesty. The stock ones were very soft, very, just a street tire. And I found that with the BP51, before I even tweaked with the rebound and compression, I had zero nosedive. I mean, that thing is very planted. It feels great. There's, obviously a body on frame vehicle. You get that nice truck-like ride, but it really stood out here with these BP51s. I just was very impressed with the way they did that. And the ride quality is just amazing. I mean, you go down roads that you see every day, even your commute, and there might be expansion joints or things like that, and it hits them. It's like a cloud, zero impact. And going down dirt roads, it's really noticeable. I mean, you can fly down a dirt road 65, 70 miles an hour with ruts and everything that you'd like, and it just feels like you're riding on glass. It just absorbs it like there's no issue whatsoever, and it just really stands out. We did go to Silver Lake Sand Dunes, and I think it did well. I mean, it wasn't as great as I may have liked, but that could be part of the way I had it adjusted. I didn't really get too detailed with my compression and rebound, but I will say in daily driving and going down dirt roads, things like this, just generally just driving your vehicle and what most people are going to see it at, not obviously everyone's driving in sand dunes, I think it's a great system. I mean, it doesn't need any tweaking. Everything's been tight. I haven't had to mess with anything. The alignment's dead on. Steering wheel's great. I can buzz down the road if I wanted to do 90 miles an hour, and it's smooth as glass. So it's amazing how great this truck is on a day-to-day basis. And the funny thing is I have a Charger Scat Pack with a 6.4 liter V8, and I actually prefer, in some cases, driving the 4Runner on a day-to-day basis, since it's just so smooth and just so enjoyable to drive, you know. So that's really been a great taking point for us. And one thing I do want to comment on, I've answered this question 90,000 times on my review video. I do have canvas back liners in the back of this 4Runner. Hey, buddy. And they are, you know, they're great liners. He's in the back of the 4Runner quite a bit. These just come down, you know, to protect your entrance there. They do have the canvas back liner, but you can see, I mean, he's back here whenever we really go anywhere. And this is by Wrangler, the net. You can see Wrangler nets. And then this is just canvas back liners. And that's just the system. I mean, he's a, you know, standard size long coat shepherd, and that's what you see there. So overall, this canvas back liner really has protected the back of the 4Runner, but it's by canvas back. You can go on there. Normally they sell just this and the backing. I bought the side panels here. This is a 24-inch extension, and then I also bought it for the back hatch just so there weren't any scratches there as well. And then the inside, really the main change that I've done is it does have the OEM Audio Plus sound solution, and I need to have canvas back make a cutout for this, and they already said they would. I just got to send them a little cutout of where it's at. But you can see there's the OEM Audio Plus subwoofer, and this is the 500Q system. It's one of their newer ones, or the newest one, and replaced the 450. And I do have the adjustable bass control knob as well underneath the passenger seat. And I'll be trying to do an upload video of that soon, or a video soon of how that sounds. But it sounds spectacular, guys. I mean, it's a pricey system, but it is phenomenal. You know, we went downstate with my grandmother, who is 70 years old, for a memorial yesterday, and she's not an audiophile by any means, but we had some music playing and kind of jamming to some country music, and she's like, wow, this thing sounds really good, you know. And I didn't really go into detail, but it's just for her to notice that says something about the system, to not say anything and to have your grandmother say, hey, this car sounds really good, you know. So that was really the only main change I've made on the inside. It's been a great car. You know, it's got 15,000 miles on it, and I can show you guys how things are wearing. I just stepped in off a dirt road, so that floor mat just got dirty. Seats are doing great. I don't have any wear to note on here. Passenger seat is good. We don't have kids, so the back seat is in great condition. I do have a little Toyota Monkey that rides along with me. But you can see the interior is doing very well. I mean, part of that can be how you take care of your car, but it's been held through greatly. I mean, normally I have winter mats in. These are just my summer mats, just because there's nothing to really worry about. So, and then on a paint perspective, I do use a foam cannon to really take care of the 4Runner. It's never been through an automatic car wash. So I do everything by hand, dry it by hand, and the paint's held together great. I mean, there's not any swirls in my clear coat, any superficial scratches. It just is a great paint. Things have done great. I don't have any sun directly on it here, but I mean, you can see the flake in that magnetic paint here, the metallic, I guess I should call it, just shines through. If I had sun, you'd see it. So if you guys have any questions about the 4Runner and really how it rides now and anything I've done to it, if you need links or anything like that, just let me know. I'll put it in the description, so just check the description first to see if anybody's asked that before, and I put it in there. And as always, you guys make it a great day, and subscribe to my channel. I try to put a lot of video reviews out here soon, and I actually was just able to get a sponsorship through a dealership, so I will be getting more videos through Fiat Chrysler automobiles. So any special requests with that, just let me know, and I'll make sure to get that video out there just as soon as I can. All right, guys, make it a great day.